Well, in your Money Watch today, everyone, there's a monumental change that just happened this weekend. It all deals with people buying and selling homes. It could either save you thousands or it may keep you from buying a home altogether. And all of it revolves around real estate agents and their commission. So to help us better understand the changes, we're now joined with Andrew Keller, who is the broker owner of Knockout Real Estate. First of all, thank you for being here on a Sunday.
Anytime.
Now, secondly, all right, so who typically would handle an agent's commission?
So, historically speaking, and it's never been set in stone, commission is always negotiable. So, historically speaking, a seller agrees with the real estate agent to sell their house. And when that the real estate agent says, this is the commission I'm going to charge, that agent is able to broadcast on the MLS or on whatever service they use and say that part of that commission is going to be offered as buyer's agency commission.
Yeah.
It was public. Other buyer's agents could see it and understand if they do sell this house, they're going to end up with this amount of money at the time of closing. So essentially what happens is, you get through this situation, you get to the closing, the listing agent will split a portion of their commission.
All right, so now what's this big change?
The big change. So there's going to be a little bit more transparency. At the same time, there's going to be less transparency for a real estate agent, a buyer's agent, to figure out what that commission could be. So in the past, you could broadcast, if the total commission is 6%, I could offer 3% to a buyer's agent. Now, you're not going to know that unless that buyer's agent calls the listing agent, asks if there is a co-broking opportunity.
All right, so with this big change, who's bearing the brunt of the situation? Is it the buyer, the seller, or the actual agents themselves?
So everything went in place yesterday.
Yeah.
The agents, they're going to have to figure this out. This is part of what we have to do. The big question is going to be, if a seller does not offer a buyer's agency commission, which they never have had to, but now it's kind of in the spotlight as, I don't have to offer the buyer's agent a commission. If they don't, what the buyer has to do is they have to come into an agreement with a real estate agent before they even walk in the door of a home.
Yeah.
So that means if you and I were sitting down and you said, I want to find a house in Sterling Heights or Madison Heights or wherever it might be, I'm going to say, well, for you to use my services, it's going to be 3% of the sales price is what I expect to be paid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, well, I'm looking for a $500,000 house. That could be $15,000. I can't afford that because I'm putting a huge down payment on the purchase of this house. So there could be some situations where buyers maybe choose to go without protection of a real estate agent. And there's a lot of things that are really unknown moving forward with how the commission is going to look. Are there going to be sellers that just say, I'm only paying my agent only? Of course. I think we should expect that. But at the same time, it's the real estate agent's obligation to work for that client and also tell them that if they choose not to pay a buyer's agent, there could be an issue with them selling their house, or that buyer that comes through might not be as plentiful as it was before because the buyer's agent is not being offered a commission, or they won't be able to afford to have that person represent them.
That's what I was thinking about. It's such a multi-layered situation. I'm thinking of the first-time home buyers who potentially maybe even strapped for cash, and now you're telling them they have to potentially shell out, let's say, $15,000.
It doesn't matter what it is. If they're buying a $100,000 home and they have to bring an extra $3,000, that's a lot of money. And I think my main concern as a real estate agent is maybe for those first-time home buyers or the people that might be using different types of loans, whether it's a rural development loan or a veterans loan, and they don't have the liquidity to potentially pay that real estate or to pay their real estate agent at the end. So this is brand new.
Yeah. As
a broker, I have many other agents that I'm saying, hold tight. We're going to have to see how this kind of unfolds. The big thing, though, is the transparency. When you're a buyer, you're going to know what that agent's going to make. So, and here's the deal. Like, if I say that I'm going to work with you and I say I charge 3%, and you say I only want you to make 2.5%.
Right.
If we sign that contract and there's a seller that's offering 3%, I can only take 2.5%.
So safe to say a lot more changes and developments will be happening in the real estate industry.
There is a lot going on, and we're kind of waiting to see how it all unfolds, but it's new for us.
Yeah.
I saw something the other day, and I know we have to wrap up here pretty quickly, but I saw something the other day that this is the first real change, if you want to call it that, in the real estate industry in the last century.
Wow.
So, we're trying to figure it out. We're sifting through everything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we understand that sellers want to sell homes, buyers need to buy homes.
All right.
So how we're going to work that out is the big question.
Definitely a conversation continuously needs to be had. Andrew Keller, thank you for breaking down these ever-changing situations concerning the real estate industry.
You bet.